folks, to another edition of the weekly Monday mailbag video, #AskGSM, where you send in questions via Facebook and Twitter, where I answer them right here on #AskGSM. If you want to send in a question, make sure to like my official Facebook page at GrahamGSM Matthews, and make sure to send me a tweet on Twitter with the hashtag AskGSM at @SAVE_US_GSM. I apologize in advance for my lack of voice today. I lost my voice at last night's SummerSlam event. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings to go watch the show. Absolutely incredibly epic show last night. Enjoyed it from start to finish. The WWE title match conclusion, Bryan winning the WWE title, only to be cashed in on by Randy Orton and Triple H. Absolutely amazing. Did not see that coming. I mean, it was a bit predictable, but it was an epic ending nonetheless, with Triple H and Orton turning heel. We had Christian and Del Rio going all at it in a great matchup. Punk and Lesnar, absolutely amazing matchup as well. If you want to see my review and thoughts on the show, make sure to check out nextyearwrestling.weebly.com. My review of SummerSlam and SummerSlams of 2011 and 2012 are up there as well, so make sure to go check that out. Of course, to get down to the questions for this week, a lot of great questions once again. Andre G via Facebook asks, do you think that Owen Hart had the right tools to become the WWE champion? Why do you think WWE never gave him the title? Well, I'm not all that informative of Owen Hart and his career and of the Attitude Era in general, but even still, I have seen most of his work and whatnot, and do believe that he had all the tools to become WWE champion at some point. During that point, we had Shawn Michaels as champion, Bret Hart, much different than the people that we had in the earlier years, of course, of the Hulk Hogans and the Bruno Sammartinos and stuff of that nature. So, of course, they didn't really fit the bill. It was a new generation, a new stature of people for becoming WWE champion. So if those guys could become champion, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, why not Owen Hart? Owen Hart had a fantastic feud with Bret Hart in the early 90s. He had a few stints later on as a mid-card wrestler when he was feuding with the Nation of Domination. I know he was doing a number of things in the late 90s, of course, before his tragic death. He was wrestling as the Blue Blazer, I believe, so he definitely had the tools to become WWE champion. Who knows? Maybe he could have later on, had he not passed away. You never know. I definitely think he could have become champion at one point or another. I think WWE just could have waited. They just waited too long in order to give him the championship. Maybe earlier on before his death, they definitely could have given him the title at some point. Ross S. via Facebook asks, did Daniel Bryan versus John Cena live up to expectations? Most definitely. As I said before, absolutely excellent matchup between Cena and Bryan. Anyone that says that John Cena can't wrestle needs to go watch this match right now. They are an effing idiot. They say that Cena can't wrestle. He can definitely hold his own against the best of the best, including Daniel Bryan. Got 26 minutes of in-ring action. Absolutely great of the matchup. Daniel Bryan going over clean was a nice, pleasant surprise. Glad to see John Cena do the job, the clean job for once. Always awesome to see that. And, of course, Orton's cashing. Didn't really ask that in the question, but I enjoyed that as well. Great conclusion to SummerSlam. Bryan versus Cena definitely up there in the Match of the Year candidates for 2013. At Khalid Al-Zrak from Twitter asks, he has a number of questions, so I'll go through all of them in a row right now. The first question was, in celebration of nearly 30 WrestleMania years, which stadium is yet to host the event you would like to see do so? Not many events that haven't hosted the event that I would like to see it. Of course, I would love to see Mania go back to Chicago and the Allstate Arena. Hasn't hosted Mania since WrestleMania 22. I want to see them go back to Toronto at some point. I want to actually see what they haven't done yet. They did this with SummerSlam 92. Go to England. I think that would definitely mess up like the time difference. I think that's why they haven't done it yet. But they are a great crowd. I'm sorry. I would love to see them host WrestleMania at some point or another. So definitely O2 Arena in England would be my top answer for that. The Barclays Center in Brooklyn recently hosted, I think it was Money in the Bank. Was it Money in the Bank? No, I'm sorry. It was Raw after Money in the Bank. They hosted TLC last year. I'm not sure if they hosted a WrestleMania there before. I know the Barclays Center was recently built and whatnot, but I'm not sure whatever was before that they hosted there. I don't think so. So that'd be another great arena. They were a very hot crowd for TLC and the Raw after Money in the Bank this year. So two arenas I would love to see WrestleMania go to in future years. He also asks, as Edge for GM? Yes, Edge for GM. Absolutely, I'm all for it. I think Edge should definitely be utilized on television more regularly. We haven't seen him on television, I believe, since last September. Made an appearance on SmackDown. We haven't seen him since, so in about a year. I would love to see him as the GM of SmackDown. SmackDown was kind of his show. Anything's better than Vicky Guerrero at this point. She's been GM far too many times in the last 6 years. She gets a great amount of heat, but I don't think that she needs to be SmackDown GM for the upteenth time. So yes, Edge for GM, definitely I'm all for that. He also asks, as Brooke Hogan has been released by TNA, thank God for that. He put in some parentheses. Who else should get the sack, management or the roster? Of course, I don't want to see anyone out of a job. As far as Brooke Hogan goes, she should never really belonged in TNA in the first place. So I'm kind of happy to see her gone from TNA. As I said before, don't want to see anyone out of a job. But Sting, he's got to go. Not saying he should be released. I don't think he's going to be released. I think he should get one more run in WWE. He's never been to WWE before. I think he should get at least one run in WWE. So I want to see him gone as soon as possible. Same thing with Kurt Angle. One last run in WWE. He's currently in rehab, so maybe he comes back and finishes up his contract. Not really sure. But even so, I would love to see him gone from TNA in the near future as well. That's about it. I mean, maybe Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe. Don't really like those guys, but I don't want to see them out of a job. So yeah, Hulk Hogan, of course, too. Don't want to see him in TNA any longer. Get rid of him. They got rid of one Hogan, so one Hogan down, one more to go. Hopefully, Hulk Hogan is released sooner rather than later. But seeing how he's at the head of TNA at the moment, alongside Dexter Carter, very unlikely. But maybe he leaves on his own terms. At some point down the road. He also asks, by all years overall, Hardcore Justice or Extreme Rules, not including the former One Night Stand events. Definitely Extreme Rules, all the Extreme Rules events in 09, 2010, 2011, 2012, and this past year's Extreme Rules events have all been excellent. Enjoyed every single one of them. Hardcore Justice, can't say the same for that. The TNA version of their ECW reunion back in 2010, I think it was the worst pay-per-view of the year that was voted in 2010 by all pro wrestling events. So that says a lot about that. 2011, did not enjoy that event. 2012 was very good. And this past year was also very good, but it wasn't really a pay-per-view. It was more of a special on TV. But definitely Extreme Rules, I think, is the better event overall as far as Hardcore Justice and Extreme Rules go, and when you're comparing those two. He also asked about Owen Hart, but I answered that question earlier on in the video from someone else, so I'll pass that one. At Cena Orton N1 fan asks from Twitter, what is your favorite match of the modern era? I believe I said this in a past video, but it was most definitely John Cena versus CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011. I believe CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar last night at SummerSlam definitely comes close. That was a fantastic, phenomenal match. So that's definitely a close second. But Punk and Cena, the story going into it, loved it. My favorite match of the modern era, most definitely. At JJF Tweets asks, do you think Corey Graves and Adrian Neville have more value as a team or in singles competition? It's kind of hard to say right now. I've only been watching NXT for the past 2-3 months now, so I haven't really been able to see a lot of Adrian Neville as a singles competitor, but they're doing pretty well for themselves as a tag team for the moment. They just recently won the tag team titles, so I don't want to see them drop them anytime soon. But I definitely think Adrian Neville has potential as a single star. His mic skills are growing at an increasing rate, so that's good to see. Corey Graves, he seems like he has the full package right now. He's got the look, he's got the in-ring skills, he's got the mic skills, so he can definitely shine as a singles competitor down the line as well. I definitely see bright singles careers for both these guys. I do think they shine as a tag team for right now. They're feeding with the likes of The Shield and the Wyatt family and so on and so forth. And of course, the final question comes from @2000Awesome. He asks, do you think NXT should have their own pay-per-views now that they have their own championships? No, merely due to the fact that it doesn't air in the United States. I know it airs in other countries now. NXT, it used to air in the U.S., no longer. I know it airs on Hulu Plus, but not enough people watch in the U.S. nowadays for it to grant its own pay-per-views. They should maybe have their own specials like TNA does. You know, like they have Hardcore Justice and Destination X on TV now. Maybe they could do that with NXT, but I think the primary goal for right now is to put NXT back on television. Hasn't been on TV in nearly 3 years, and now that it's better than it ever was, I think it should be getting back on TV sooner rather than later. Maybe with the WWE Network, maybe on Sci-Fi again. I'm not really sure, but I would definitely love to see it back on TV. And maybe you can include a match from NXT, a top-tier matchup, like that recent Bo Dallas versus Leo Kruger match. You could put that on one of the pay-per-views, like ECW used to do. Like they used to have one match from the ECW brand on a WWE pay-per-view. That's what you can kind of do with NXT in order to get some more exposure than what it's getting right now, because WWE acts like it's non-existent because it doesn't even air on television nowadays. But hopefully they can change that in the near future. So that's all for the questions for this week, guys. Thanks for sending in a lot of great questions. As I said before, if you want to send in a question, make sure to tweet me on Twitter with the hashtag AskGSM at save_us_GSM. Make sure to also like my official Facebook page and leave a comment there at Graham GSM Matthews. Really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to subscribe as well. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you next week. This is GSM signing out. Till next time, guys.